We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
Oh, and I'm Jill.
What's going on?
I don't know. For some reason, I was waiting. I was ready for what I was going to say after that. I forgot about my name. Oh yeah, I was focusing on what word do I want to use today. So I'm going to say, and I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sizzling Scottsdale, Arizona.
It's perfect weather right now, though.
Uh-huh.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Isn't it funny when you live in some of these places, by the way, where the forecast doesn't change? I'm sure it's like that for some people in the winter in some locations, like, well, and today's another cold one.
I moved to Arizona in 1994, and I can tell you very accurately that all the perceptions that people from Michigan have about Arizona, and specifically Phoenix, are completely incorrect. Only old people live there.
Mm.
It's too hot all year round. You can't really, it's just so hot. None of those things are true at all.
That's cool.
And there are 10 other ones, but some of them are really derogatory. So I'll stop right there.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm not sure how to say this name. Setubal wrote, thank you both for providing insightful answers and guidance on last evening's accountability group call. Following up now on one of the topics discussed, accounting as a land investor. Within that topic, you, Steve, had spoken about the importance of setting up separate bank accounts and to never commingling funds. Would welcoming the opportunity to continue the discussion here and potentially receive further guidance on handling bank and funds and bank accounts in the land business, tracking expenses and related areas of accounting within reason, since this could be an entire course, that you believe are important to an entry to mid-level land investor? That's a lot.
This was posted on Discord.
Okay.
And what ended up, I answered it, and I'm going to answer the question here. But more importantly, what ended up happening is that we have a member who lives in Salt Lake City, who's a CPA and has his family practice in California still. He quote unquote escaped California a lot of years ago, more than 10 years ago. Good for him. We just did too. And this became a massive topic. And now this guy, I'd plug his name if I could remember it, is taking on new clients and customers and setting up bank accounts and helping people in our group. This is my point about Discord. It just became this topic. Then it turned into, hey, you got to read this book. Yeah. And then did you see all this?
No.
Then we all piped in like, no, you got to read this book and you got to read this book. So my Amazon cart's full of books that members are saying you need to read and you need to think about it this way.
That's really cool.
Here's what you do. Wherever your personal bank account is right now, go on there and open another account. It takes seconds in most cases. If I know for Bank of America, it just takes seconds.
Like a sub account kind of thing?
Yeah, separate account, and go fund it. Put some number amount of money in from the other account. A great number whenever Joe and I start new companies, I always put $10,000 in there. I don't know why. Sometimes it takes a lot more. Sometimes it takes a lot less. And then every single expense you incur, get checks, order checks, and a debit card. And it doesn't have to be in an LLC yet. Just what's important is it's separate. And then you start incurring expenses, whatever expenses are in your land and business, with that. And it makes your accountant's life 100 times easier when you separate this stuff out. If you are a member, please go on Discord and look this all up, because the amount of how people handle this that are very, very successful within our group, their suggestions are amazing. And they're all in the right direction, but make sure you separate it. Mm-hmm. From an accounting standpoint, what this allows you to do is forget about it. You don't need to be an accountant. If you want to, you can set it up with QuickBooks because the recurring expenses, but you don't have to, because your accountant, whoever does your taxes, just needs to see the have access to it, and they can take it from there. So it's important to really separate it. That's my point.
Could you see the zone out on my face? Could you tell?
No.
It was zoned out.
I'm sorry, Joe.
It's okay. No.
That's why we're good
good
partners.
I know, it's kind of funny. I agree.
You do some stuff that zones me out.
Totally. I'm well aware of that. That was actually the question. I can see it all over your face. Can you see it on mine?
Accounting's always, I never went into accounting because I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I did it because, understanding money is one of the first steps to creating wealth.
Right.
Today's topic, how and how not to review a land acquisition deal. This is why you're listening. Did you ever think about going into accounting, even for like 1 minute?
No, are you kidding me? Hell no. Not a thought ever, ever, ever. Nope.
That's
Not
some
me,
classic
man.
stuff, Jill.
Nope. That's so funny.
It's interesting because I thought about going into sales and never pull the trigger on it.
No, and here's what's funny too is like, you know how different people are. Like I took after my dad and my mom. I think my brother took after my mom, as far as keeping track. Boy, I sound like Michigan. Did you hear that? I said, Mom, what the heck? So it's you, the Michigan on you.
You've been hanging out with somebody like in...
I don't know.
Your girlfriend's from Pennsylvania. It's the same thing. That's what
maybe
it is.
that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Lori and Nick. That's got to be it. So that's so funny. Anyway, like my dad was not good with money. My mom had to take over and pay the bills. She was really good with money. And one of the main things was my mom would pay the bills at the beginning of the month, right? When you have the money, you pay everything and then you live on what's left over. My dad would pay the bills at the end of the month and try to scrape together enough to pay the bills. So I obviously have changed all that, but I'm not a finance person. And
There's a whole string that this question sparked with the accountant in Discord about exactly what you just said. And there's in traditional accounting, you look at revenue, expenses, and net income or profit. And they're turning that on its ear now. What they're looking at is expenses plus profit. I'm sorry, revenue plus profit equals expenses. And so it's an equation. It's an equation. And the point is this, and the explanation they used is this. When you buy a tube of toothpaste and you take the cap off for the first time and start using it, you put a lot more on your toothbrush than at the end. So at the end of the tube, and there's not, you're trying to just get by with whatever. Yeah. So that's the same thing. The vast majority of people in their personal lives and in their companies, if money is abundant, cash is abundant, you should never run your life by cash.
Right.
You have to stop thinking that way. I should do a class on this.
We should.
If you allow cash to your cash balance for you to make decisions, you will never get ahead. Right. You have to look at it like you have to look at leverage as part of this.
Yeah.
So that's a topic for a different discussion, but I've been in accounting my entire life. And this string in Discord is changing how I think.
That's cool.
It is the greatest thing ever.
I'm
so proud of Discord.
Good.
Thank you, staff, for coming up with that.
Cool. All right. So
Discord might be yesterday's my 5.
Okay.
I can't live without it. Discord might be.
Oh, okay. That's cool. All right. Here's the thing: how to and how not to review a land acquisition deal. Okay.
Just like let's
move on.
Yeah, zip it.
That's great.
That's great, Jack. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm real excited for you and your accounting spiel.
I can go off and let you just talk by yourself if you want. I have nail polish around here somewhere. Okay. So here's what you want to do. Let's talk about how, and then we're going to talk about the pros and then what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. Okay. First of all, what you should be doing. You should be, to review a land acquisition deal when the call comes in, you should be trying to get yourself to 15 minutes and get your 15 minutes down to 5 minutes. Here's what I want you to do. The call comes in, you have the checklist. You know the checklist. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to landinvestors.com. It's free. On the left-hand side, you see Jill's inbound seller checklist. Print that baby out. That's the stuff you need to intake when the seller calls you with a property. And that's the stuff you're looking at. So you have the state, county, APN, you know the ownership situation, they agreed on the price. Is there anything special? Maybe something about the taxes, is there some attribute, whatever it is. You got all the stuff right there. Now sit down and review it. Pull up the price. If you're not that comfortable doing it on the phone with the seller, I get it. That's okay. Get that sheet will make sure you get all the information like, hey, sir, make sure I get your right phone number. When's the best time to reach you back? What's your email? Whatever it is kind of thing. So you have it all right there. Now you hang up the phone I want you to go and on to NeighborScoop or something similar and review the property. Look at it. Make sure everything checks out. Is it the right guy? Is it the right price? Do you still like that price? Is it the right size that you're trying to go after? Does it have access? You know, we all know
Does
the
it have
5 A's.
access?
Those
That's
kind of
my
things.
huge point.
Right.
Does it have access?
Right. So reviewing a land acquisition, I'm kind of topping 35,000 feet on this here, not the details about it, because we do that on other shows. So my point here is try to get yourself to 15 minutes. And then when you're at 15 minutes, I want you to try to get yourself to 5 minutes. This is not to review the whole thing. Your 15-minute is your phase 1 due diligence.
That's right. Good job, Jill.
Thank you. I may know something about this or two.
Yeah. Do you want it to go to phase
Yeah,
2? That's what this is about.
And then quickly, then decide if you're going to go to the next level. So that's how you do it. 15 minutes becomes 5 minutes. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the week, you have a handful that you're now going to dig into and go, all right, these 3 passed those tests. Now I'm going to go through and see, do I want to buy all of them? Do I want to buy none of them? Do I want to buy one of them? Whatever it is. That's how the right way to view a land acquisition. What you don't want to do, the way not to review a land acquisition, is to get hung up on that one and spend all day on it. And maybe not even
that one
the first phone call that came in.
Oh, yeah.
And you go down the rabbit hole and you're going down to find out zoning, you're talking to the county, you're looking at building, you might even reaching out to builders. I mean, you might even be thinking, you're so far down the
you're good at
rabbit
this.
hole about who's going to buy it, whatever. You don't even know if it's good. You forgot to even check that. Does the guy even really own it? Is his wife alive? You know, just the basics. So
I'm going to drink some coffee.
You are welcome.
You got this.
Thank you. So I want you to, you want to don't get all into what's possible or undoing a mess too. Another rabbit hole I hear people get into is like, well, my wife died, and you're going down, you spent all day, you know, maybe finding an attorney, talking about this and figuring that out and pulling up, it wasn't JTROS. What kind of a deed was it? This kind of whatever. You're helping this person. And guess what? You forgot to even look at the dumb thing on a map, and you realize it's the side of a cliff and you don't want it anyway. So you can't do that. And
you sound really passionate about this.
I am passioned about this.
It sounds like you have some experience in the other personal experience doing it the other way.
I don't know about, maybe I did. I just talk to people and I know it's possible. And at the end of the day, what usually this tells me is 2 things. One, you're not, cutting yourself off, setting a time limit, cutting yourself off, knowing the few things you need to check and then move on. And the other thing is you didn't send enough mail, because I find people that only have 1 or 2 a week to review, let's just say, then you didn't send enough mail. You should be busy enough that you only have 15 minutes to do your phase 1 check, decide if you want to move on, because you've got enough deals to review. What would you like to say or add?
There's 2 things that I do when a deal comes in. And honestly, I don't do anything when a deal comes in. Jill and her staff do. But when it gets to me, there's about a critical 30 seconds-ish, 30 to 60 seconds where I know if I'm going to do the deal or not. Number 1, I go to NeighborScoop and I find it with the state and the county, the state county zip code, state county APN. I look at it. I connect it to Google Earth through NeighborScoop. I move myself around, try to get it. If you're lucky enough that you can go to Street View, you take a look at the property. Now I'm getting a feel of, I pretty much know at that point whether or not I'm going to buy it. And then number 2, I check the money. So if I know Jill's buying it for $50,000 and every single other property that's in the immediate area has sold for or is listed for more than 100,000, it's done. And I shove it back. We use Airtable in the CRM. I make my comments. I say we absolutely should buy this. Or in some cases, right now, I'm driving out there to look at it because we're doing some different stuff with land these days. And I see if it qualifies for, making some of the improvements that we do now. So it's very, 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 very fast due diligence review for me. I don't care about I don't care about if they're alive. There is a 5 A's. And if you're brand new, you should really practice the 5 A's, which is everyone alive to sign?
Mm-hmm.
Acreage, the larger, the better, almost always. Affordability, the
Mhm.
cheaper the better.
Access?
Access, critical issues with access. And then
Attribute.
attributes, is it cool?
Mhm.
You know, when you go there and stand on it, or whoever's going to buy it and stand on it,
So there's
do you
something
get this happy
great.
feeling, or is it just in a trashy, dumpy area?
Exactly.
And maybe that makes some people happy.
Yeah.
Really, some people like that.
Mhm.
So again, I was joking about it yesterday, or maybe it was today. I didn't know we had to talk about this. I thought this
Oh.
is something that people are born with.
No, this is important. You got to learn. You have to learn.
You didn't learn.
Well,
I never sat down and sit with Jill
Well-
in my entire life and said, this is how you analyze a land transaction.
Here's the deal. There's things that are special about me, and then there's things that are special about you.
You mean special needs?
Oh, and you listener, you decide. One of us is more special than the other person. But that's okay. When it comes to the accounting part, you know, I was telling somebody this the other day because it ties into what were we just talking about? Oh, the money, the question at the beginning of the show, your accounting money thing. Like, you will send emails or text me or message me on Teams that check out what just happened. Look at this company or that company and this, you know, and it's, or the, you know, the land sales. Have you looked? And I'm like, nope, that's kind of why I have you.
Give
Isn't
an
that
example.
funny? You send these emails patting somebody on the back about efficiency and numbers, maybe our marketing team and how well they've been doing with something, right?
Our internal
Oh,
team.
yeah. It's our own numbers, our own accounting numbers.
Man.
You're like, do you know what's going on? I'm like, actually, I don't.
They just
And he'll say, do you know what's going to happen this year? And I'm like, that's why I
I'm
have you.
floored
Yeah.
at the financial performance of the group
Our
of,
team.
of people that
Yeah.
work for us now,
They
right now.
get better. They get more
just
efficient.
Constantly, in all of them. It's
Yeah.
not, there's not a dead weight employee that we have anywhere now.
Not anymore. Thank goodness. Yep.
I mean, it is truly amazing.
Yeah. It's really cool.
You know, I look at it because it makes me happy.
I know. But it was just tying into this, like, that's one of the things that I just like, don't pay attention to. I get it. But
It's
it's
nice
stuff to
not to
talk
think
about.
about money.
Stuff you have to talk about, though. It's important. Happy you could join us today. You can find us right here, Monday through Friday on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy show is called How to Jillify a Land Transaction. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
So who came up with that topic?
Me.
Oh. Are you going to ask me questions?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I like those ones. If you can just
Um,
kind of lead me.
I will give everyone a hint. Jill has something like some actors have that is not, you can't explain it. I'm going to try to explain it tomorrow. But it's why we get a lot of deals done.
It's important.
It's a special sauce.
Yep. Hey, you need to send out a few thousand offers to property owners like we do? Check out offers2owners.com. It's offers and the number 2 owners.com. No setup fees, free mail merge, and exceptional service. We should know because it's our company. Give Offers 2 Owners a call today.
We are Steve and Jill.
and
Information
inspiration.
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.